Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Don Jo. Their part number SLP-206SL. This is a silver-coated latch guard is what it is. Going to remove it from the packaging so that we can take a closer look at it. This unit features an offset that's probably greater than necessary for your application. It's a somewhat less common latch protector. Has a very large prep, which would be suitable for like a grade 1 lever lock. Basically about every bit of 3.5 inch diameter. You know, those roses on grade 1 locks are about 3 7/16, right in that range. So that's going to be made for that large lever lock, grade 1 lever lock, or a larger knob lock rose, whatever it might be. Since we're measuring it, let's continue on. Overall length of the unit, about 5 and 15 sixteenths. Okay. Overall width, about 2 5/8. The portion that will be on the face of the door is going to be about 2 inch. The offset portion, we'll measure that with our caliper. I think they say it's 7/16 of an inch offset. They don't. Let's take a look at a couple of these things here. So this offset that they're giving us, 0.355 inch, okay, 0.355 from the underside here to the base here. So, 5/16, 11/32 of an inch is what that would be. Okay, the reason for that offset is best described on screen. Let's switch to our screen view and we'll take a closer look. Okay, this is the item that we're looking at, and there's a template that's here, and we'll take a look at the template. And here's our offset, 0.375. I measured it at 0.355. The question is, what are you going to use this type of offset for? Well, a couple of reasons. I think what it's initially intended to help with is the following. First of all, typical doors, not all, but it's typical for a door to have an inset. Okay, the distance from the face of the frame to the face of the door. So this distance from here to the face of the door is the inset. It's generally about 90 thousandths, about 3/32 of an inch. Okay. So this offset is too great for that. Now, I've had scenarios where a client literally has a wood frame, but they have a small amount of casing attached here, some sort of treatment. So that works out well as long as that offset, if you have something applied to a wood frame and that offset is exactly correct. The last time I sold this, that's what happened. The client had a small amount of trim on the outside that the choice was either chisel into the trim or go with an offset. So this was perfect for that application. I think where Don Jo's considering you using this is when you have a strike plate, okay, and you don't want to modify the strike plate at all. Okay, that strike lip is going to project off the face of the frame a little bit, and that's where that's going to come into play. I think this is where they're intending you're going to use the offset that they have, and that's bolstered by the fact that it's referred to in their catalog, which we're going to get to, may be used on hollow metal door frame using ANSI strike. Okay. I had said earlier, smaller rose. They're saying this will work with up to a 3 3/4 rose diameter, but that's where that's coming from, I believe. when you have a strike lip that's hanging off the face of the door, pardon me, the face of the frame, and you simply need the offset to account for that. The other option, if you wanted to use a strike with a latch guard that would, be, basically with a standard offset, something quite small, is you're going to need to take that strike and eliminate that lip, or come with a flat lipped strike, or you're going to go with a strike dimension. Here's your strike, screw. Okay, the distance from the center of the hole to the edge of the lip, that's your dimension. A typical strike is going to be 1 1/4 inch. Okay, you could also order them shorter, 7/8. So you could reduce that so it's smaller, so it's not hanging into that area where you want to apply a strike. Forgive me, where you want to apply a latch guard. So that's literally where they're using it. Since we're already on the camera view, let's go over the extended description. Outswinging doors, made from 12 gauge steel. When I put my caliper on this, it measures 0.103. I don't know what gauge 0.103 is, but my caliper tells me it's 0.103. Accepts up to a 3 3/4 rose. By the time you're seeing this, it'll say 3 3/4. Furnished with carriage bolts, washers, and acorn cap nuts. We'll go over that. The dimensions we've gone over, and this is silver painted. It's available in different finishes, and we can review that in the catalog page. That it's available in the SLP 106-206. The 106 is simply the stainless steel version of this. The 206 would be the painted steel versions of this material, brass plated, chrome plated, duro coated, and silver coated. So gold, shiny silver, dark brown, and sprayed aluminum type color. Now that template that's here will allow you to review all of the other dimensional properties, except they don't give us, they don't tell us, oh yeah they do, sure. So the holes, 3/4 from either end, so it's going to be 4.5 inch center to center is what that's going to be. 4.5 inch center to center, and 3/4 from the interior aspect of the latch guard. Okay. Refers to it being 12 gauge, 0.104. My caliper said 103. And finishes, they're missing the chrome plated as well. Now back to that catalog, going to the front of that catalog or to the top of it, this will allow you to review all things latch protector related from Don Jo. And if you know the name Don Jo at all, you probably do so for latch protectors and maybe their door reinforcing wraparound plates. A trip through this catalog is really handy because it will allow you to review all of the other things latch guard related. Before we get further, you can order some of these with an EBF style fastener. EBF, special fasteners to prevent interference with the frame. Available on selected latch guards as an option. What is an EBF? Here's what an EBF is. In your frame installation, okay, you're going to have your door. You're going to apply your latch guard, whichever type it is. Okay, that bolt is going to run right through here. Okay, if you in this area here, tried to use the typical acorn nut fastener, you're probably going to find conflict. Acorn nut is got to be 3/8 or greater in terms of height. That EBF fastener is going to give you a very flat head profile, as we see here, a very trim profile. That's designed specifically to reside within the space of where that bolt has to come through. And that space from the face of the door to the face of the stop, you know, is generally 90 thousandths or so. You know, in a hollow metal rabbet, you've got 1 15/16 rabbet size, and your door is 1 3/4. You know, this minus this is 3/16. Okay, 3/16. If you have that inset of, you know, basically 90 thousandths, that's going to leave you with basically 90 thousandths here as well. This is 180. This is 1.1875 is what this is. But roughly, let's just say 96, roughly 3/32 of an inch. So that's what that's designed for, okay, to fit in that area. Definitely order EBF. Order it regardless, it would be my opinion, and then you're not worried about your acorn nut hitting. And you need the acorn nut so that you're not unintentionally, you know, dragging or hitting or catching something on the exposed bolt head. So as we scroll through this catalog, you'll see a variety of latch guards. Obviously, most latch guards are for outswinging doors, but they do have them for in-swinging doors. The ILP, the 6-inch version and the 12-inch version, these are pretty effective, these models. This U-channel is held onto the door with screws, but when you close the door, this lip, this leading edge, prevents total access, prevents you from making complete access to the head of the screws. These are one-way screws. I've installed this where I needed to try to get those one-way screws out. It did not work well. Okay, they don't come out. They do not cooperate. So additional latch guards, I would recommend reviewing this, if not to help you better determine what you need, and if for nothing else, just to familiarize yourself with what's available. Obviously, these typical LP 207 is where the EBF, I think, is going to really need to come into play, because these bolts are closer to the edge of the door, is the bottom line. Angle style, these are nice. People buy these. If you've got the room between the door and frame, or you just mortise it to the edge of the door in your frame, edge of your door. Obviously, having it not interfering with a lip of a strike is important. BLPs are common. The NLP is nice because it's narrow. I see that narrow one out in the world every once in a while. Don't sell this one very often, but it's certainly neat and petite. You know, if you've got a grade 1 lever lock and you want to go through the door, you know, have that underneath your lock itself, that could be a very durable way to install that. It's going to be hard to tamper with that. You have to rip the lock off as well. Specialty electronic locks, you're going to want to look at the template of this to make sure it will work. The Cobra has been long discontinued, but they're still out there. Okay, then you have your short type, which is the one we're talking about here. And on and on. It just continues through the catalog. Okay. Now, let's finish up this video on camera. So now we have those bolts, and you can see the acorn nut that's there, and the washers. And that's a carriage bolt. That carriage bolt is going to have a square prep to the underside of the head so that when it comes through here, it won't rotate at all. Okay. But this will come with standard acorn nuts. Acorn because it's literally shaped like an acorn nut. Very nice quality item. Now finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Don Jo products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Don Jo SLP-206 in an SL finish or any other Don Jo product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.